Hi, hello.
Hello?
Is this
Yeah,
Mark?
this is Mark. Who's this?
This is Tommy Bryson. This one is going to be recorded and potentially uploaded. How can I help you?
You call me.
It's Tommy Bryson. You schedule a call with me. This is Mark Lewis.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, this is Mark. This is Mark.
You called me, man. It's okay. No problem. How can I help, brother?
So yeah, man. I mean, look, listen. I've been trying to get in touch with you a long time ago. I reached out to you on Instagram, but I'm glad I finally get a chance to talk to you. So my thing is, I'm just a new person. You know what I mean? I'm originally from Haiti. And
Okay.
I came here and now I'm working and, some of your videos really, caught my eyes and I'm just trying to learn and understand, the ability to invest in and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just trying to get a more understanding of how it works and you know what I mean? So I
Okay.
thought maybe you could
So
maybe,
how old are you?
enlighten me. I am 33 right now.
33 years old. How much money do you make
I make,
per month on the low end?
um, I make like $4,000 a week.
$4,000 a week. That's net.
Yes.
Wow, congratulations. So
Yeah,
that's like
I have a 1099. I run a business as a trucker.
awesome.
So,
So on the
yeah.
low end of that business, how much do you make?
On the low end,
Like not the best week.
if it's not the best week, I'll say three, the least.
Okay, so let's say $3,000. So that's 3
Uh-huh.
times 4. That's $12,000 a month, right?
Uh-huh.
And what problems are you having like financially? Like you're okay as far as like you're not in debt, you don't have a spending problem, or are these things issues that you want to fix?
I am taking care of that. I originally paid off my car recently, and I think the only thing now is a student loan that I have.
How much do you owe?
Um, right now it is $16,000.
$16,000.
Yes, and I
What's
think
that?
that's
What
that's
what did you what did you study?
I graduated from like a medical assistant program, so it was not really like college or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah, it was medical assistant. I went to the program, and that's what that's what this student loan is.
So how do you transition from medical assistant program to now trucker making $12,000 an average per month?
So that's a good question. I had a best friend of mine who we graduated from high school together, and he
Mm-hmm.
was doing that, and I was trying to pursue the medical assistant program.
Yeah.
And I actually was in college for accountant, and
Oh, okay,
I
cool.
dropped out. I dropped out, and when I saw the amount of money that he was making, I think that drive me to just wanted to be a part of that, and that's kind of like how everything went down with that.
Awesome. So currently you just have one truck or you have multiple trucks?
I actually have one truck, one
Wow.
just yeah.
So how does the business work? Like how many hours do you work per week?
Um, I work a lot. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the business work is like I have my own truck, which I
Yeah.
bought, and then I actually lease a trailer, which I'm paying for every month. And then what I do is just I have a DAT load board where I pull load from there every time that I need to go out. But I travel all over. I don't have a restriction or anything like that. So sometimes I'll go like 2 weeks out and then come home and spend 3 to 4 days or
You
something
have a
like that, and then
family?
I'll do it again. Not yet, no.
Not yet. It's hard work, man. Truckers, they get paid a lot of money, but it's hard work.
It
Um,
is. It is.
so would you say you work like 60 hours a week or more? Or 40?
60 sounds about right. Because, I
Okay.
mean, they have regulations where you have to pull over and
Yeah.
go to sleep for 10 hours and stuff like that. So, yeah.
So let me ask you a question, Mark. Um, you're a trucker. You own your
Uh-huh.
own truck. You work a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Uh-huh.
You're 37 years old, right?
No, I'm 33.
33.
I just turned to
Okay.
33, yep.
Have you ever considered, for example, just hiring someone to drive the truck for you?
Um, I thought about it. I thought about it because I heard of people doing that, but no, I rather just do it because it's something that I really enjoy as well. I know there's people who do that and they just sit home and it's kind of like a passive income, and they just making money every week
Mm-hmm.
and things like that, and then plus what they doing. So maybe later on, but right now I do enjoy it. I get to go to different states and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
The reason I
and
ask is
I
because, sometimes we love an aspect of a job, what it allows us to
mhm.
do. For example, it sounds like, Tommy, I like the aspect of I get to go to different states, try different maybe dishes, like stay different places. Does that sound like what you like the most about that job?
Not just that, but I think the money as well. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I think
So
when
money
you,
and flexibility.
yeah, and also
So,
like
mhm.
when you at home, you work certain jobs. You have managers and supervisors. They
Your
tell
own
you what to
business.
do, and I think right, right. So that's kind of like
So let me tell you something,
some of the
right?
things I
Just
like.
for context here, right? Because um, you work a lot. You haven't
Hmm.
started building a family yet. I can tell that maybe that's important to you. You like the
That
aspect
is.
of traveling and all these other things. However,
Uh huh.
you can make $12,000 per month, which is an amazing amount of money, right? Which is times 12. That's
Right.
around $144,000 a year. However, the main aspect that I'm seeing here is that if you could transition to having somebody drive the truck, maybe buy another truck. Now you have two trucks. You split, for example, not split down the middle, of course, but like split some of the gains with that person. Well, now you're
Uh
able to
huh.
travel more. You're still your own boss because you still have a ton of money. You're still managing those things, and you can still now
Hmm.
focus more on building a family. That's just me throwing something out there. It's very important you
Okay.
don't get caught up, for example, in the day to day because it never ends.
Right.
So if
Okay.
I could have a truck, split the difference with somebody, like maybe 80-20, 60-40, whatever it is. Now I get a second truck, so now it brings my income back to normal. I don't have to work anymore because that's passive income. Now I can go ahead and basically travel whenever I want to. I can work on building my
Uh
family. That is
huh.
amazing. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, that
Consider
makes
that.
perfect
Consider
sense.
that
Yeah.
strongly. I
Hmm.
have friends that are truckers, so I relate to you, and they
Okay.
have not the best work-life balance because it's such hard work, and they're such like troopers. You know what I mean?
Right.
However, if you have the flexibility to be able to do that, Mark, you should consider that strongly. Imagine yourself
Okay.
3 years from now, maybe let's say 7 years from now. You're 40 years old now. You have a fleet of trucks, maybe three, five, seven, 10 trucks, and you just knee deep in cash.
I think because I learned about that a lot because I heard people who do that, and it's such a great thing to do. But I think there's fear as far as me because I'm like, how am I going to find a driver to drive this? And I
Yeah,
want people who is professional. So all
yeah,
that thought behind that kind of like make me feel like, okay, well maybe I shouldn't. You know what I mean? Because I sometimes I think about it. I'm going to end up spending a lot more money even though I'm making a lot, but I'm gonna be spending a lot because I have to
yeah.
pay the driver, everything else like that. But yeah, I'll definitely look into it and give it a
Okay.
little bit more consideration and
There's
things like that.
there's this couple on Instagram. I can't forget I can't remember their name, but they have a course on trucking, and you have to be very every person that owns a business has a little bit of ego attached to it. And that ego is
Mhm.
that I am the best person to do this job. I have it too, where I run a business with YouTube, I edit the videos, I answer the comments. I'm the best person for this, right? But
Right.
as
Right.
you're trying to grow in a business, you have to learn about delegation because
Okay.
delegation is how you basically take you from just being you to having somebody else do that work for you. So, for example, I hired an editor. I'm going to hire an assistant. Now, if those people get paid, for example, $25 an hour, but now I'm able to focus on things that can make me, for example, $1,000 per hour, it's a big difference, right? Same thing with you.
Yeah.
If you can, I'll tell you what you have and what your problem is. Your problem is a lack of information. You're a very hardworking person, but you just don't know. And when you don't know what's at the
Right.
end of that abyss, I'm not jumping. But once you understand how the business works, so do some research on it. Buy a course on trucking. Invest like that, $300, $500 onto that, and you can learn how to do that. And before you know it, you can have a fleet out there. And that way, now you turn into like because you have three aspects of a business, right? You have the employee, you have the boss, and you have the owner. And right
Uh huh.
now, you're all three, and that's not what you want to be. You don't want to be the employee because you do all the work. You don't want to be the boss. You always have to be there. You want to be the owner. The owner just oversees things, checks in every now and then, creates a system that works best. You make a lot of money, and that is amazing, but it's costing you a lot of your time. You can make money, a lot of that, but you can't get back your time.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, I just wanted to throw that out there because if I see something, I want to throw it out there, and I want you to start thinking about it because a few years from now, you could be in a great position. So.
Right. Yeah. That's a great aspect. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your current situation here and investing. Now, the way I see investing is if you are paying somebody, for example, 8% on debt or 18% on debt, and then you're trying to invest, make 8 to 12%, the answer is usually you want to pay your debts off first. So right now, currently, tell me about your debt story. How much money do you owe and all this stuff? I know you owe $16,000 in student loan debt. Do you have anything else?
I don't have, I think maybe $1,000 in credit cards. That's about it.
Okay. And that's about it? That's it? No personal loan debt, no car loan debt?
No, I've been taking care of all that, so I've been pretty much knocking a lot of them down, stuff like that.
How much cash do you have, Mark?
It. Right now, I'll say about maybe 40 grand in the bank.
Nice.
Between checking and savings.
How long have you been a trucker for?
I've been doing this for maybe 5 years now. 5 years.
And when you first started, how much were you making?
When I first started, so what I did was I was working for somebody. I think I was making maybe $900 a week. And I started, learning more about the business and how it worked. And I went and leased a truck for 2 years.
Was that scary at first?
It was really scary because I was, one of the things that you talk about is me not having time. When I was doing that, it felt like I couldn't even go home because that was an obligation for me. So I had to be out there every week because the payment of the truck was weekly. Yeah. So that was, so, and now I was able to just, get my own truck and start it off that way. But yeah.
But what I want to show you is that at some point, there's always a level of fear when you don't know about something. But then you went ahead and you educated yourself and then you lost that fear. Then you got the truck, you started your own business, and you own your own truck, right?
Right.
You can do the exact same thing, and you can have somebody working for you for $1,000 a week while you're making, for example, $3,000 extra, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm telling you. Just learn about it. You already did that before. You learned. You can learn again. Now, here's what I would do if I were in your situation here. If I have $40K in cash and I have $17K in debt, what am I going to do here? The first thing is I would pay off my debt today. All of it. That means I'm fully debt free.
You sound like Dave Ramsey for a minute.
Yeah. Dave Ramsey, listen, man, when I first started YouTube, I did not like that guy, But then what I started to realize was that if you're trying to build wealth and you're paying somebody 4 to 8% on your debt and you're making in your portfolio, let's say 8%, 12%, but inflation is 3-4% per year, it just cancels out. It's like you're trying to move, but you're on a treadmill and you're not going anywhere, but nobody notices.
Right.
You feel me? So that's why I say, for example, you pay the debt. Now you're 100% debt free. Boom, taken care of. Now what do? I save for a full 3 to 6 months worth of emergencies. Now this is very important because the big risk that you run is basically that if tomorrow, God forbid, you get into an accident and you break your neck or your leg, you can't drive. You got no income, right? So you need, and that's super scary. So you need to have, for example, an emergency account with 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. Does that make sense? So now once you have that, for example, you have 3 to 6 months of expenses, you're debt free. Now we can talk about investing. Now, what classification of business do you have? Do you have an LLC, S corporation? What do you have?
LLC.
Okay. If you have an LLC and you're a single member, you can open up an individual 401k. And that lets you invest up to $57,000, if I'm not mistaken, for retirement. Now, you want to do this, for example, with Vanguard. And don't worry, you don't have to invest all that money. Everyone relax here. But it's great to have that option because it'll save you a lot of money on taxes. But the overall point is, once you open up that individual 401k, and the most important thing is basically, you gotta set everything up correctly, and also what you invest into. So I have, for example, in all of my videos, like the latest videos, there is a link to M1 Finance. When you click that link, it shows you exactly what I invest into. Now I'll give you the core runaround here. I invest into basically index funds, right? But when you go to M1
Okay.
Finance, it'll be the ETF version of those index funds. When you go to Vanguard, they will only have, for example, index funds to actually give you for the retirement account. So don't get confused here. What I want you to do is look at my portfolio, what I invest into. You call Vanguard, you say, ring, ring, I want to open up an individual 401k. I'm a single member LLC, and I want to start investing into my retirement. They'll tell you, okay, tell me the details here. What do you want to invest into? You tell them, hey, I have these ETFs. I want to invest into the index fund version of them. Okay? And they will tell you
Okay.
exactly what those are, and they will make those accounts for you. All right? Now you can start investing into your retirement. Now, how much do you invest is very important. I would invest anywhere from 10 to 20% into my retirement accounts. Okay? In your case, if you are making $12,000 per month, if you are going to go ahead and invest, for example, 20%, that's around $2,400 a month. And every single year, that's going to be around $28,000 per month. Now that means, for example, very important here, when you have an individual 401k, you know how people have normal jobs, and if they invest, their company pays them, for example, a match, like a little bonus when they invest?
A match. Yeah, I had a job like that. And they had Fidelity, and where they would match it
Okay.
every time I invest in it. But when I left, I actually took that money out.
Yeah, yeah. So you don't want to ever take this money out. So that's why I only limit it to 10 to 20%. And I also have you have an emergency account. That way you never need to dig into it. Now,
Okay.
if you're investing $28,800, that might mean, for example, you can max out your 401k account, open up a Roth 401k. Very important you do that one, okay? The one they're going to push at you is going to be the traditional, the normal 401k. Why? Because with the normal 401k, you save money on taxes today. But this money is not for today. This money is for Mark when he is older. So it's
Right.
better if you go ahead and invest your post-tax money. But when you have to take this money out, you get all that money tax-free. The other one is going to charge you money in taxes in the end. That's not the one you want. You want the one where you pay taxes today, but when you're ready to take the money out, you don't pay taxes. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if you're going to go ahead and invest $28,800, and that's just 20% of your income, well, what do you do next? Do you own a property or do you rent? You have a trailer.
I rent.
The trailer?
No. I rent.
Okay. Okay.
Apartment.
You have a trailer for work. The thing for the truck. Okay. Now,
Yeah.
how much do you pay per month on the apartment?
1,100.
What is it? A 2-bedroom, 1 bath? 1 bathroom? What is it?
1 bedroom, 1 bath.
It's expensive. 1,100.
Yeah.
Where are you located, by the way?
I'm in Florida.
That's really expensive for Florida. What, Florida? What,
Yeah.
like Miami or something?
No, I was living in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, but I moved to Orlando right now because with the truck and business.
That's
it's
expensive in Orlando. What do you have? Like a penthouse or something?
No, well, I always wanted to be safe, so it's just a gated community, nice and just
Okay.
things like that. But it's nothing
Okay.
major. I mean, yeah.
All right. So my rule is usually you want to make sure that shelter is no more than 30% of your monthly income. So in this case, you are in the clear because you make a good amount of money. So that's fine for you. Now you have shelter,
Okay.
you have utilities, how much you spend there? Internet, gas, electricity?
Internet. I say about a good $300 for internet, water,
For just
cable.
internet?
No, for water and cable as well,
Okay.
like all the extra stuff. Yeah.
I'm like, what are you watching? Food, how much do you spend on food? Because I know you're constantly going out and stuff, so you're probably like having to eat and so on, right? But those are business expenses
Yeah.
because it should be a part of the business expense. So you personally, how much do you spend on food?
I'll say maybe I don't normally like I would just like go to get the buy at the grocery store and make them myself, and put them in a bowl and go on the road and things like that. So I'll say about like maybe $100 a week or something.
So $400 a month. That's very expensive.
Yeah.
The average person, you should be like around $200 like per person. But again, you make a good amount of money, so that's fine. Transportation. You have a personal car, you just paid it off. What's your insurance and what's your gas and maintenance? Ballpark.
Gas. I don't drive like that, so my car's always parked. But insurance is like maybe like $100 a month. And for service, I get 3 months of service every 3 months. Just get oil change and things like that. Maybe about another $100. So yeah.
Let's say $135 in this, right? So now this means, for example, your overall expenses to actually live are somewhere around. Let me just see here. Somewhere around $1,935. So if you keep a really good budget, or let's say, for example, you just give yourself like $500 extra to play around with, you shouldn't be spending more than $2,500 per month. That's the truth there. Now, that means, for example, if you're just spending that much, but you make $12,000, well, the math says basically that you're around 20%. So only 20% of your money you actually spend on expenses. So that means you're basically investing 20%, living on 20%. You have another 60% to actually play around with. So what do you do with that right there? The answer is I would consider start saving up for a down payment for a home. But then the problem with that statement is that basically right now you don't really have a family established. You're also a trucker, so you might consider moving later on.
I do have a lady who's in my life.
Awesome.
My girlfriend for about 3 years.
Okay.
I think she wants to go the whole 9 yard with me. So there is actually the potential of marriage and family, because she's been, sticking with me for a minute. So yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, if family's a thing now we'll consider using that 60% of money to actually start saving up for a down payment. When you buy a home, the rules I follow is the 33% rule, meaning the property you buy cannot exceed 33% of your monthly income, including the mortgage, insurance, taxes, HOA fee, maintenance, everything included cannot exceed more than 33% of your monthly income. It doesn't have to be that because you make a lot of money. So 30% is a lot of money. So if you can lower it to 20%, even better. That way you're even more comfortable, okay?
Okay.
And you also get it, for example, on a 15-year mortgage. The goal is to pay it off as fast as possible. That way you eliminate the risk of any mortgage or having any debt anymore. So once you have a home that's fully paid off, you've been investing also 20%, you have a full-blown emergency account. By the time you're done with this property, you'll have at least 6 figures in your investments.
Okay.
But that's just one side, right? The big thing is here, again, man, this story of yours is so impressive, Mark. If you manage to go ahead and, for example, build up the business sense to just go ahead and basically consider like having employees and so on, and you start to use this large income of yours to buy a few more trucks here and there. You have 3-5 trucks. People are by the way, things are not going to be perfect. Not all drivers are great, but you have to remember you're also a driver. Your friend was a driver. You guys are good drivers. So there's also good people out there that are going to be good drivers for you, right? So the point is to delegate. You try people out. You learn how to interview people, how to judge people. And by the way, when you judge someone, don't judge them based on potential. Judge them based on what they are right now. So if you see someone not the best experience, kind of sounds a little weird, but you believe in them because you're an entrepreneur, stop it right there. Judge them on what they are right now because that's all they can do right now. Okay?
Okay.
All right. But you are in a great position. So steps to take away from this call is basically pay off your debts, save for emergencies, 3 to 6 months. That way you're good. And by the way, do you have disability insurance?
If I have what?
Disability insurance.
No.
Get it.
No.
Get it.
The thing about it, because I operate on my own, there's a lot of things that I'm not.
You need to get it, man. You need to get it. You make a lot of money. You have $40K in the bank. Get it. And if you've been a trucker for the past 5 years,
disability insurance. If you get hurt.
Yeah, if you get hurt, they can help you cover basically your monthly salary. a percentage of it. That way, if you get hurt and you can never work again, your job is great. You make a lot of money. So do I. But if I break my leg, if I can't speak, I can't do this anymore. So everything is done. Shops close. So I don't want to scare you, but the point is having disability insurance, it's going to help you out a lot. You have health insurance?
No.
You need that too, man. Why haven't you gotten it?
A lot of the company that I call, they normally when you tell them you're a trucker, they just want to charge you like your whole salary, and I'm not. I don't think.
So let me tell you what you do there. Okay? Do you get sick often?
No, not really.
Do you have a family history of people in your family getting sick?
No, I mean I do every year. I paid out of pocket. I have this doctor that I normally go see every year. Check everything, blood work, and so he let me pay out of pocket.
So here's what you want to do, okay, Mark? You want to get a high deductible insurance. What this means basically, your premiums are going to be very low, but when you get sick, you'll have to pay a percentage out of pocket, larger than the average person. The reason people pay, for example, high premiums is to make sure when they get sick, they pay, for example, very little out of pocket. But there's a cap. Usually the cap might be, for example, 10, 20%. And sometimes it might be, for example, if you get into a crazy accident and the bill is $100K, you have to pay up to 10% or a maximum of $2,000 or $3,000, right? So that way your limited liability is just that. But it saves you hundreds and hundreds of dollars every single month on premiums. Get a high deductible insurance plan. You cannot be operating without insurance. Now, there's something else, right? If you get a high deductible insurance, you can also qualify for an HSA account, health savings accounts. This account allows you to basically invest money, right? But that money can then basically be used, by the way, it grows tax-free, but it's only to be used for medical reasons. So if you start maxing out, I think the max is like around like $3K per year right now, if I'm not mistaken, for single people. So you put $3,000 in there per year, 10 years pass, whatever, 5 years pass, you get sick, whatever. You have a good amount of money in there to take care of when you have to go out of pocket. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So HSA account, high deductible insurance, and don't just call people. Go, for example, I think it's Policy Genius, okay? I think Policy Genius or any like insurance broker that help you find, for example, the best one. And don't let them convince you like, oh, you should get this one or that one. I want the higher deductible insurance, but not so high of a cap because you don't want to pay that much money out of pocket, okay?
Okay.
All right, brother, you are set, man. You are doing great. You are doing awesome. I love your story. I like where your life can head because your life can head so many ways. All right. Remember, you got this lady. You got to take care of her. Women love quality time. Eventually have kids. And there's nothing personally. You can buy a kid a basketball. You can buy him a car. You can buy him a TV, video game, PS5, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, all they're gonna want is daddy and quality time with daddy. And if all you do is work, you'll miss all those important years. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So starting today, research about that. But your steps for this call, because I don't want to get you too mixed up here, is A, pay off all your debts. B, save for emergencies. C, call Vanguard, set up an individual 401k account. Start saving up for your down payment on a home.
Let me also ask you this one question. I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
There's this app that I normally just do a little investment here and there. Don't worry about that for right now.
What is it?
It is Robin. I believe it's
Robinhood. Okay. So Robinhood is usually for individual stock investors or stock pickers, as they call it, meaning you're picking companies to invest into. The thing is, right, you don't do that because you're a trucker and you spend a lot of time working, and to basically be able to do that the correct way, like Warren Buffett does, you have to spend 8 hours a day researching stocks. Are you going to do that? I don't do that either, right? So that's why we invest, for example, into index funds. When you invest into an index fund, basically what you do is you're trying to track the market. So one of the investments you're going to see when you click my portfolio in the link in the description, you're gonna see basically an ETF or an index fund called the S&P 500. And the overall idea is that this index fund right here tracks the overall performance of the US stock market. So inside of it, it contains the 500 largest companies. Imagine like a bucket. And this bucket has, for example, the 500 largest companies. Instead of you buying, for example, one of those companies, you say, nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna buy the bucket. That way I own all of them. So does that make sense?
Right. So instead of buying like one share like you do in Robinhood, you pretty much buy a whole bunch of stocks that combine together.
Exactly. But it's very important you have a very good portfolio. That's why I'm going to recommend you mine. Because in that portfolio, you have the U.S. market, international market, the small cap market, bonds, treasury, and corporate, real estate sector, the emerging sector. All this stuff is important. I don't want to complicate it for you, but that's why I recommend you just copy over my portfolio, because that portfolio is not mine. You know, it comes from people that are 10 times smarter than me, and I copied them because it works. Okay? And you need to complicate things when it works, it works. That's the whole idea there. That's
so
all you have to do.
So your recommendation is not necessarily to just like take all my money out of Robinhood, but like just put a policy.
How much do you have in there?
I think about like maybe $1,000. I have different shares of different things here.
If you don't understand what you're doing, sell it. Because it means if you made money, it's not because you're a great investor, it's because you got lucky. I'll give you an example. Back in March during the pandemic, I went ahead and I bought Delta. I did some research on the company. I read some forums here and there, but I did not understand the company as in-depth as I should. A year later, I made around 128% of my money. A lot of money. Somewhere like around like $40,000 off of this one stock. Now, I could either see myself as this genius or someone that got lucky. If you don't comprehend a company fully and what it does, like its balance sheets, its cash flow statements, its income statements, its competition, its employees, all those aspects, then you shouldn't be investing into it. So I said, I'm gonna go ahead and sell my shares. I sold my shares because if you're investing into something that you don't understand, you're always just in the wind because you don't know if it goes up, if it goes down, and you don't know what the heck it means. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's the idea, brother. But you just have a few steps to take care of, man. But you are on track.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, I appreciate all the, this whole conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't even think it was possible, but I just, sometimes, my father, he's a whole Haitian man, and sometimes we don't know a lot of things. We come here and we're just trying to kind of get the information because the information is out there. So I think it was one of those things where I'm just really trying to speak to people who hire and have a lot of knowledge and things like that. So again, I appreciate.
Keep it simple, Mark. And I heard about what happened in Haiti. Did you hear about it?
Yeah. It's a horrible story right now.
Yeah, I don't really know what's the detail in it because I'm Dominican. And people are saying that basically maybe he wasn't the best president. People were upset with him or something like that. But I don't really know what's going on there.
Yeah, that's what some people feel like he wasn't the best president, but he still was a president.
Yeah.
And I don't think that it makes any sense on how he lost his life and things like that. But
it's insane. Yeah. It's insane. Well, Mark, just want to let you know that these calls are not a one-time thing. If you do want to call back in, if you have any questions, feel free to do so. Schedule a call, and I'll give you a call, okay? Welcome to the long-term team. It's all about the long term because you're going to be here for the long term. So I want to make sure you're okay for the long term, okay?
Okay, no problem. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, brother. Good luck. Have fun.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Guys, what an amazing conversation, okay? What an amazing guy, right? Mark. $12,000 as a trucker. And this is where you have that issue where you think about the 80-20 rule, the 4-hour work week, and you think about, would I trade lives with Mark? Would I be down to work 60-hour weeks, not really make connections with my family that much, not get started on my family because I work so much, but I make a lot of money though, right? And I'm scared about getting started, for example, a business. The answer is you have to liberate your time. Imagine Mark just making 50% of what he makes, but he doesn't have to do anything anymore. He has an employee. He can go ahead and basically buy another truck. And by the way, trucks are not that expensive, like $20,000, $24,000, $30,000. You can buy a used truck, by the way. And now you have 2, 3 trucks, 5 trucks, 6 trucks, 10 trucks. You have a little fleet of trucks. You're managing your business correctly. And the thing is, you might say, Tommy, well, what happened when you have Amazon trucks, Uber trucks, competition gets so crazy? The answer is that could happen. Don't get me wrong. But if he does everything correctly, he's investing correctly, he's not getting back into debt like crazy, not at all actually, and he bought his home and he's paying basically for it every so much to pay for it in cash basically, or just finish it off, he will be great. I'm so happy for this guy, man. I love the idea of seeing someone that might not know everything and just trying to help him out. Okay, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you want to join me on my next call, feel free to do so. These calls are free, by the way, from Monday to Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to join me, link is down below. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. And on top of that, also destroy the like button. I think I said that twice. If you want to DM me on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. On top of that, also, if you want to watch my content like this, use the video right here, click my face right here. And as always, peace.